G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because undoubtedly you are seeing what I'm seeing, the absolute stupidity of the Six Nations bonus point system. And yeah, it's completely ruined the championship, I think, in some sense, and they need to rethink about how this bonus point system work. I do have an idea of how it should work, and it's going to make the competition better. But yeah, let's have a look at what is happening in Six Nations right now and why I think there's a big issue. So going to the final round of the Six Nations, 3 teams are still in the hunt to potentially win Six Nations going into the final round. And 2 out of the 3 teams has to rely on teams they have beaten previously to potentially win the Six Nations. That is Ireland and England, right? It's completely out of their hands whether or not they win Six Nations. And yeah, it's just one of those things where because the bonus point system essentially has ended up in this situation. And now you might be saying, oh, you should have just played better early in the season and not, get your bonus point and not concede a point. And that is exactly the reason why, that is exactly the mentality that has led the teams into this situation, because they only care about their own bonus points, and they wanted to, they didn't really care about the opposition losing bonus points and try scoring bonus points. As long as they got their own 5 points maximum, they were happy to just take the foot off the gas. We saw that multiple times this season from multiple teams. And let's first off look at how the bonus point system actually works and what the issue actually is here. So in the Six Nations Championship, a bonus point is issued. Let's have a look at this one. It's probably easier to see here. A bonus point is issued for just scoring 4 tries. Whether you win, lose, or draw, you get a bonus point if you score 4 tries. And if you win the game, you get 4 points, and the maximum amount of points you can get is scoring 4 tries and win the game. That is 5 points. So there comes an issue, right? Once a team gets the maximum of 5 points, right, winning and the 4-try bonus point, there is no longer incentive, at least in the short term, earlier in the championship anyway. There's no longer that much of an incentive to continue to pressure the opposition, preventing the opposition from getting a try-scoring bonus point or a losing bonus point. As long as they don't, lose themselves, right? There's no point for them to kind of continue to pressure the opposition, especially at the cost of, injuring their superstar players. We saw this last week. In fact, we saw this week when Scotland versus play Wales, right? They taken Finn Russell off the field 50 minutes into the game because they pretty much had the game won, and then allowing Wales to score 4 tries, like 3 tries in the second half, and getting a losing bonus or 2 bonus points for Wales because Scotland just decided we've already got the maximum points we had, 5 points. Let's just take it easy from now on, right? We saw that again. In I think to some extent the Ireland versus the France game, where France score 4 tries, and they know they're gonna get the 5 points. And the bonus point, so they just started kicking penalty goals, right? Instead of continue to pressuring the opposition, they keep kicking penalty goals, knowing that there's no point of them scoring any more tries. They have to keep the scoreboard ticking, and in fact, they allowed Ireland to score a couple tries in return. Almost had Ireland, allowed Ireland to get a bonus point back themselves, but still, it's not how the game should go. The game shouldn't go from. It shouldn't become less and less intense as it approaches the end of the game. It should become more and more intense, right? The team should be playing harder as the game is going to the end, not playing easier as they go into the game. And that's what we're seeing. The teams are playing easier once they get the bonus point. They're just happy to kick 3 points, keep the scoreboard ticking, maintain that lead instead of pushing themselves to continue striving to score those tries, which is kind of like opposite of the initial idea of the bonus point of incentivizing the team to score more points, right? To score more tries and kick fewer penalties. Now this is obviously with this system, the Six Nations is currently in a situation where Wales was, could potentially rank higher than Italy next week if Wales gets a losing bonus point against England and don't get blown out. Don't lose in front of England, and Italy gets blown out by Ireland, and suddenly their point difference becomes super bad, and Wales could move up against Italy on that, and that's just not how the way the competition should work. And it's not because Wales is the better team. It's because Wales was allowed 2 bonus points by Scotland, right? Because Scotland pretty much we wouldn't care anymore. take your bonus points. It doesn't bother us. You're not going to affect our rankings. Just take your bonus point. We wanted to make sure that Finn Russell doesn't get injured, which is completely understandable. We don't want to make sure that Finn Russell don't get injured. We'll take him off the field and you can just go at it. As long as we win, it doesn't really matter how many bonus points you get in the end, right? And that's one of the issue here. And same here with I think Ireland kind of hurt themselves a little bit in the round one, where again Ireland was comfortably winning with the bonus point, and they just allow England to come back, scoring 4 tries, getting a bonus point right at the end of the game, because Ireland was like, you can't beat us anymore. Let's just take it easy, make sure nobody gets injured. And now it's in a situation where, well, we probably should not have let that happen. Right, and I think it's the at the time in the round one, you can't really blame Ireland for that. Ireland did not think that this will come to an issue later in the season, but it's for them it was more important that the stars don't get injured. For them it was more important to just close the game out, maximum 5 points, and they were happy with that. And it's come to this. It's come to this situation that we have here today, right? I think the bonus point system is working against the intended objective, which is encouraging teams to score more tries. It's actually encouraging teams to stop scoring tries after you get 4, right? So that's not the way to go about it. Now, in the Rugby Championship, there's a little bit different system. I think this system is a little bit too far, goes too far, too extreme. So again, you get a bonus point, 1 bonus point for losing less than 7, which is the same as the Six Nations. But in the Super Rugby, you have to beat the opposition by more than 3 tries, right? So if you score more than 3 tries on the opposition, you get a winning bonus point. And that is a big difference from the Six Nations, because if you have a 3-try lead, the opposition, and you allow a try in from the opposition, you actually lose the bonus point that you've already earned. So yeah, and you can't get a bonus point. You can't get 2. There's no situation where you could get 2 bonus points for losing, right? You can only get a losing bonus point or a winning bonus point. There's no such thing as I've lost by less than 7 and I've scored 4 tries, so I get 2 bonus points. That's no longer a system in the Rugby Championship. But the Rugby Championship system is not really perfect as well. I've complained about this a lot with the way that Super Rugby is played. This comes to an issue where, because the 3-try gap is such a big, difficult task, win by more than 3 tries, teams, especially teams when they're like, when it comes to the elimination rounds, when it comes to the end of the season, when the top teams are playing each other, they know they can't beat the other team by 3 tries, so they just don't bother. So they start kicking goals anyway. They don't bother going for the tries. They just wanted to win the game. You don't want that either. So I think the Super Rugby system and the Six Nations should come to somewhere in between. I think that, yes, you can only get 1 bonus point maximum for losing, which means there needs, that's the less than 7 points. But I think to get a winning bonus point instead of 3 tries, I think 2 tries will be a much better system, because it leads to the point where both teams have continuously work to maintain that bonus point towards by the end of the game, so that you're not gonna get a situation where teams are gonna be like, we got the bonus point, let's just kick goals, who cares, right? If you kick goals, the opposition scores 1 try, suddenly your bonus point is gone. You might win the game, but you've lost the bonus point, right? So it makes the dynamic a little bit more exciting. I think it incentivizes the team to play all the way to the end of the game, instead of just going, 60 minutes, 50 minutes, that's enough. We've got the bonus point. Let's just take it easy. It eliminates that sort of like play, play from the teams as well. And I think, let me know your thoughts. I think that should be the better system. 4 points of winning, 2 points for draw, 1 point for beating the opposition by more than 2 tries instead of 3, so it reduces 1 down to 1. Or and the losing team gets 1 bonus point for losing by less than 7. So just the one thing that needs to be changed, the winning bonus point, and I think it's just a much better idea. And also I think that there needs to be another change for the Six Nations. It's the tiebreaker. So there's this situation this weekend where if France don't get a bonus point after beating Scotland, and England gets a winning bonus point against Wales, England will be, and France will be on the same amount of points. And then according to the Six Nations tie-breaking system, this will go to the point difference between the 2 teams. So the 2 teams' point difference will become the winning and losing determining factor of who gets number 1. I think that should be wrong. I think it should be heads up play, right? It should be the team that won in the head-on-head play, which will be England, that wins the Six Nations, and not the point difference, because the point difference literally means like how many points you've extracted from the lower teams. That should not be the determining factor when it comes down to two teams. When it comes to championship, you can't win the championship by milking points from a low tier team, by being a better team at milking points from a lower tier team, from the bottom ranking team essentially, than your opposition. That should not be the determining factor for winning the Six Nations, right? You can't just say I won the Six Nations because I extracted 60 points from Italy, right? That's not how you should be considered. You should be considered, I won the Six Nations because in the heads-up match between my team and the second-ranked team, we won that one, right? That should be how it's done. I'm pretty sure that's how it's done in the Rugby World Cup pool stage. But for some reason, in the Six Nations, they go for point difference, and that's again I think that's just not a I don't think any other tournament does that. Yeah, when it comes to this sort of ranking system. But let me know your thoughts on that. Especially now you enter in a situation where England, you're putting more weight on the England's ability to win Six Nations on another team, right? Like you have to pray that Scotland actually beat France for you to win because of the point difference instead of the head-on-head. Again, the teams shouldn't be relying on oppositions to kind of like shouldn't ever be in a position where the opposition is your fate is on the opposition or one of the opposition's performance instead of your own. I think that's just a fundamentally bad design for the point system. Anyway, with that bit of a rant out of the system, let me know your thoughts on that. Let's quickly have a look at England versus Italy. Again, I thought this was, to be honest, I thought Italy was really good. Couple Watson, some of the wingers shot a lot of really good wide attacking, width to their attack. A lot of speed, a lot of nice angles, some really good ball handling, but they just weren't that consistent throughout the whole game. And I do think that the Italian forwards was just, not quite physical enough to front up the defense from the start to the end. And I almost feel like Italian players had that mentality, like, we tried our best and that's good enough. I think, if the Italians definitely had the talent to probably upset England tonight, and they just didn't quite follow that through to the end. With English, I thought, despite the big score, I thought was a little bit, I thought they were like a little bit, what do you call it? Lack a little bit of ambition. France blown out Italy, what was it, 60 points, 70 points? And I think England could probably done that as well tonight if they had really wanted to do so. You can almost see English team giving away a lot of silly penalties, a lot of just soft penalties, just alleviating a lot of that pressure they could be applying. And overall, I think the England team wasn't. I didn't think they were ambitious enough to try to inflict the maximum amount of pain that is required to potentially for them to win the Six Nations this year. So I'm a little bit disappointed with England performance there as well. Congratulations to Jamie George, one of my dad's favorite player in the world, actually. So for his 100th Test cap, one absolute veteran, and set up a nice try as well tonight. So really congratulations to him. But overall, I really felt that England should have put the hammer down and really try to squeeze out as much points as they can. And I didn't feel like that was, I feel like there was a lack of ambition out there tonight for the England team. Let's have a look at the stats and you probably get a better idea of what I'm looking at. 7 tries to 3, 583 run minutes to 305 for the Italians. 15 turnovers conceded against England, 19 against the Italians. 97 tackles made for England, 22 missed tackles, a little bit high there for missed tackle count, considering you only have to make 97 tackles. Italians, 148 tackles made, 36 missed tackles. That is pretty high overall there. 30 kicks in play for England, 32 for Italians. One missed kick. I think this might be the first missed kick for Finn Smith in the Six Nations this year. Right at the end, there was one penalty miss by the Italians. Kicks from high, now 170 meters to Italians, 882. England definitely won that one. No lineouts lost, pretty good executed for England, 16-0. There was one really, really weird lineout where the Italians sacked more. Like there was the first one, more try, and the referee Andrew Bray said it was a legal sack, like it was a tackle instead of a deliberate collapse of the maul. I don't know how that works. I looked at it, the replay. I thought he ran around and just grabbed the guy at the back with the ball, and then the Italian player ran around, grabbed the ball, and tackled him. When the maul was formed, I thought it was a yellow card penalty try, any day of the week. But apparently, yeah, let me know why that wasn't a penalty try. Because that was beyond my comprehensions. I guess the referee Andrew Bray saw something different. So Italians lost 4 of the lineouts out of 15. Scrum was quite even. I thought England probably had a bit of advantage there. The Italian has a pretty good scrum this year, to be honest. I wasn't too surprised about that. And this is what I'm talking about. I think England was just being a little bit, like, mentally not a little bit lacking a little bit. Like 14 penalties conceded against Italy. I think this might be the highest penalties conceded for England this season. This Six Nations season. And again, it's not because the Italians were putting tremendous amount of pressure on you in front of your try line, and you're on the verge of losing the game. It's just kind of lazy, kind of just like silly penalties, and kind of just like there was a lot of silly stuff, like kicking the ball while you're in the rack or something, while you're on the ground, just stuff like that. I thought this was just, again, just like I said, there was a lack of ambition, in my opinion, to hold themselves to a higher standard to try to finish this game with as many points as they can for the England side. Let me know your thoughts, but that's how I felt watching this game. Italians, 11 penalties considered only. Considering they were under so much pressure, the Italians actually held themselves to a higher standards than the English did in this match. Point summary, I think you can go have a look at this yourself. Some really nice tries for the England team. A lot of physicality from the England forwards mostly. Marcus Smith had a nice little run through from it was like, I think it was an offload from one of the forwards. I think Will Stewart. I think it was that. But anyway, it was pretty good game overall. The Italian tries probably a bit better. Likes to look more entertaining. Capuazzo, little kicks over the top for the teammates, and just some really good slick hands on display for the Italian side as well. So overall, I think the Italian tries were probably a bit more exciting than English tries. But England did what they needed to do to win the game comfortably, and I think that probably a bit too comfortable coming out of this game. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and have a good one. I'll see you guys later this week for the news. Have a good one. Cheers.